Hello, welcome in. How's everybody doing tonight? We
What's
have
up,
a
everyone?
we have a very special guest, MT Paranormal Life.
What's up, everybody? Thank you. Thank you for coming.
So tonight's a little different. For those of you who are used to seeing these guys, they're usually on the run, they're on the move, they're out in the dark with their flashlights. We managed to tackle them down and get them here. They're on the run, they're on the move. Oh, you have YouTube open?
By mistake. Sorry
Okay.
about that.
All right. Hey, Cash. Hello, Jody. Welcome in. We'll
Hi,
do a
Jody.
little roll call. Pat, welcome, buddy. Val, good to see you. MT is here. Sally Joe, hello. Ghost Ranger, good to see you. Sasquatch Confessions. You're not with him, Megan? Oh, yeah. I'm painting it on. Arla, the legend, hello.
Hello.
Sasquatch Seekers in the house. Friends with Monsters, wonderful premiere earlier, brother. Good to see you. Janelle, good to see you, Jay. Tina, hello. Welcome. Good to see you all.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, we have a very special guest with us tonight. We managed to pin him down. It's usually on the run. You guys might see him with the cameraman crew. You might see him with Ghost Ranger, running all over the place. Camping with Sasquatch Paradox. Good to see you guys. So, Mike, what's up? What have you been up to, buddy?
Well, filming, man.
Yeah.
Filming all the time.
So you guys do claims a lot, right?
Yeah, cameraman's claims.
Yeah, which is basically like you guys go to people's houses and help them out, and right, and try to find answers.
Yeah, right. And claim 3, man. I tell you what, out of all the places, man, I've been, there is definitely either something or there's more than one, but there is something that is not of what we're used to. I don't know if it's always been here on this planet, but there is something there that, and you've seen it in that red light. When you've seen it in that red light and I seen it, I was like, I don't know what's there, but that place, everything that homeowner's been talking about, I guarantee 100% believe it. Everything he's heard, everything he sees, there is something on his property and we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, that's a tough one to pin down. Hey, Raymond. Hey, Shannon. Good to see you. Our baller. Good to see you. Hello. Miss Linda. Good to see you. So, yeah. So, I mean, I like your style, right? You know, you all have different styles, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have the more. You come from like a paranormal investigation approach, right? And you tend to get a lot of stuff. Now, recently, you've captured a couple of things that really caught my eye. We don't know what that one thing was, right? I mean,
The walking, whatever it was that was walking behind me.
yeah, I respect your skepticism and I respect you not jumping to conclusions, but that is very intriguing.
Yeah.
And it's really intriguing because whatever is walking back there is bipedal. You know, it's clearly bipedal. It's big, you know, at least human big. And you know, you can't make it out. Like, it doesn't look to me like it's like wearing clothes or, you know, anything like that. And like you said, it's a little bit off trail. So like, what?
Yeah.
You know, I know you say you can't rule out a person, but it's intriguing to me. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, and I originally missed that when I edited that video,
Yeah.
and it was brought to my attention, and then I was like, "Whoa!" I'm like, "You definitely see it," and I'm like, "Man, I must have. I don't know how I missed it, but now I see it, and you know, it would be very strange. I mean, I think if I had to lean towards what it is, I'm probably leaning towards a person, but I'm like on the ropes about it because it is like out in nowhere. Like if somebody was really out there walking in the woods back there, that's way further off trail than we were, and we were in there. So it's you know, I'm kind of not sure just because I can't quite see it well enough to know what is there.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. You know, and that kind of, I know that kind of sucks sometimes, but it's the way it is the way it goes sometimes, right? And you have to just, it does leave that big question mark. You know what I mean? That's it. And unfortunately, a lot of that is what it is. You know, if you don't have that direct gut instinct or that direct feeling towards yourself, like of what you're looking at being something off, you know. Um, but again, so you oh wow, thank you. Goodens, thank you. Lip balm, you can never have enough. You know that much. I got about three kinds sitting just sitting close by. That's like the ongoing joke is me and my chapstick. So you also captured a. I wish I knew. I wish I had the capabilities of showing and sharing things. I'm really not that tech savvy, so I do
I
apologize.
can show it if you want me to.
Yeah, go for it. If you know how, I'm down.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and bring it up here, and I will show you.
Yeah, let's do it.
I made a clip out of it, so I won't have to dig too much. All right. Okay.
Alan, what's up, buddy? Anthony, good to see you, bro.
Let me see if this is it. Here we go. All right. How's that look? Good?
Let me see. Oh, here it is. Yep, let's get it.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Things go well.
You want to look in the over his.
There you go.
Want to look over there, over his shoulder.
Yeah, it's right here. You can start it. It's already past when it started to walk, but there it is. Let me back up a little bit.
The rest of the time
Full
we're
speed.
here.
There it goes. See it walking?
Oh, that ain't what I saw. I saw something else too.
Let me go back a little further. Okay, here you go. It's right here. There it goes, right there.
Wow. I seen something over your other shoulder.
Yeah, that's the same one. See how I move?
Oh,
it's over here is where I last seen it. And if you watch, it continues right here.
Right.
What am I prepared for? Can you tell me?
There, right. Bam. Yep.
So
here it is again.
Things go well. The rest of the time we're here.
There you go, right there. It's weird is that if you back it up, let me go.
Well, the rest of the time we're here.
Okay.
Let me try and make it bigger, guys.
Here you go.
Yeah, full screen. Here we go.
Yeah. Okay. I was in full. I'm as big as I can get on my end here.
No, it's okay.
But there it is, and it comes from behind here because, like, when you go back, you don't see it over here moving.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the frames, like when I'm.
Let's go well. The rest of the time we're here.
Right here. You like if it was moving right when I moved and my head went past this point, you would have seen it moving, but it like just comes out from behind here.
Right.
There it goes. And then apparently it has stopped here because it took all this time and it just comes out of view.
What am I prepared for? Can you tell me?
Right there.
Well, right. That's the part I saw. I didn't even see the beginning part. Wow. Good shit, bro. Really good job.
Yeah, and what was strange, I don't usually do. Let me get back out of here. Okay. I usually don't do too many like third person shots with my camera.
Yeah, I hear you. Yes.
And I just wanted to add that in because, a lot of the information about like, keeping your videos interesting is letting people see you because usually all they see is your first person view all the time.
Sure.
So I was like, well, let's do that. A lot of people like to see the view behind you. They always ask for that, but it's kind of hard to make happen. But so I'm like, let me just do a look like that.
Yeah, when I finish all my videos, like those are when I make personal videos, like I make a lot of personal videos, and those are like I make them like I usually do a recap after I finish the video when I'm walking out. I'll do like a little personal video recap, and I hold it up here and I just like talk and I tell myself like I do like a quick like just so I don't forget what happened. And I've captured some shit over my shoulder that I'm like, it's mind blowing.
Right. Yeah, and that video, that was the one I just released. That was last week. The cameraman and I filmed that. And if you watch the video, there's some prints that we documented on there that are very, very compelling, man. Like when I seen them, I'm like, wow. I'm like, you see actual like big bare feet prints, like weird bare feet, because you could see toe prints and very strange prints there. And we've been in that area around there before, and that was the first time ever seeing those prints. And it was like all of a sudden they were just everywhere.
Yeah.
If you want to check that one out, that's the one I just did. It's like searching for evidence of paranormal encrypted activity. That's the video I just posted, and I got a really good EVP in that too. It's like a whisper for help me, and it's very clear.
What do you mean? Oh, okay. What about the one that you just showed me? I mean, you just like we just listened to before.
Oh,
So here's the thing. Here's what I think is funny about. Well, not funny, but no coincidence, right? I was last night I was camping and I kept trying to tell people like I was doing a live stream and I was like, I'm hearing this sound and it's like they're talking to me and it's coming out of this bush and there's nothing physically there, but I can hear it and I'm trying to mimic the sound it's making. And then you played me that sound today and it was like,
oh yeah.
it was like I heard the same thing again. I was like, what the like, mind blown doubly.
I could, I could let you hear that clip too if you want again, because that was I haven't heard such a clear whoop sound before.
Yeah.
That kind of like that really made me like turn my head when I heard that. I was like, whoa. I was like, and I heard that when I was there recording, and I kind of like, a lot of times we're filmed often enough that I kind of forget about some of those things while, in between until I edit it. And then I remembered, I'm like, oh, wow. I'm like, that's right. I heard that whoop, but I forgot how like clear and loud it was. And then I was, even more amazed when I heard it on the video than when it first happened. Let's see. Somebody asked for the link for that. I could post the link for it, I think.
It's all right. They'll get to it.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that whoop. That's a little spoiler because that's the video I'm working on now from the swamp, what we call the swamp, one of the other claims. And that whoop and a lot of other things are going to be, some pretty good evidence for my next video. But I could spoil that whoop.
Why is it here?
If you want to hear that one.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I'll get it. I'll bring it up here.
What? Now, mind you, guys, he gets a lot of stuff out there, like, and it's interesting how things always seem to line up with what what the hell is the thing called? The Spirit Talker.
Oh yeah. That's an app, like an Ovulus is the name of the actual like device. It's
right. Obvious, right? Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. All right, I shared it. So let's see.
All right. Turn your what's up, buddy? Turn your volumes up. Yes.
Here it is. I don't know how loud it is on my end.
Yeah.
Can you hear it? Is
Yeah.
it decently loud?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm checking my volume, make sure I'm all the way up. Okay. That's a pretty clear whoop.
Yeah. And that's what I kept hearing, bro. I swear it was so similar to that last night. It was just something in the bush was like, whoop, whoop. And you could be, like I almost wrote it off as like a giant bullfrog, and I'm like, it's not no frog. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's even if you put headphones on and listen to it, it's a lot louder. That didn't seem too loud through my speakers, but
when it's hard on here. When we were playing it for each other on the phone, when you played it for me, it was like I heard it like so loudly. But no, it's cool. We get the drift. Thank you, bro. That was pretty cool.
We were talking about how whenever they throw the rocks, how you can always hear it.
Yes. Like, why is that? It's almost like it's so much louder. Like,
yeah, I was thinking about that when you said that, because the times the swamp, especially right where that whoop came from, we had two big rock throws at us, and the sound that it made, if you watch, like especially that second one, man, it sounded like it echoed through the whole forest.
Yeah,
like it sounded so loud.
It's not like they're big rocks, like, and I was like, practicing it too. I'm like, oh, maybe it was this, and I'm like slamming stuff down, and I can't get it to make the same like, the thud that it makes. And I'm like, well, how does that happen? It's like it's so attention grabbing.
Yeah,
it's almost like they want you to know, like, hey, this one was us.
Yeah, it's just one of those odd things that there seems to be something to it that's beyond what we understand.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the mafia's in the building. Everybody,
what's up?
Everybody, make sure your VIGs are in check. Make sure you're all paid up. Browndorf, what's up, brother?
I'm getting close to a year, man. It's almost been a year I've been on here running my channel now. Hey, and I also just went over 2,000 subscribers too, so I've been meaning to put out a thank you to everybody for that.
Good job, man. Good for you.
Especially to you, because you've helped a lot, help get me, help spread the word.
I can only, you do the work. Like I've led the tribe, if you will, right? I've led the tribe to a lot of different people, and I mean, there's some people put in the work, and it's you're doing great stuff, bro.
Thanks.
And like I said, we all work together on the side, like, and we all have different styles and maybe different ideas, but we work well together. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like it's all important, and different people like different things too. You know what I mean?
Right.
You use a lot of tools, right? Like a lot of different things that like people enjoy that because they can physically see when something happens, when they touch that ball, or when they touch that REM pod, or when they speak through that device, or whatever it may be. People like that, like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good combination. It right from the start, when the cameraman and I started working together, my experience before I started working with him was already I'm working outdoors, investigating outdoors, and I'm hearing voices coming from, I don't even know where they're coming from, but I'm hearing voices. I'm getting interaction on my devices that seem intelligent. And then you've got guys like the cameraman that at the time, are looking for evidence of cryptids, and they're kind of in the same area like I am, but they're on the hunt for something different than what I was looking for. But then the one thing in common is we kind of are going in the same areas doing different things, but we were close by each other. So then we just put it together, and then we kind of just look for what each other are looking for. Because, Jack loves looking for things paranormal. I don't know if you noticed that, but he gets a chance to go to some place that's haunted, man, and he's all over it. He wants to go. He wants to hear. He wants to see what's going on.
Yeah, well, he'll. So I get it. I get it. I do. I've seen enough where I guess I've seen enough where like I'm picky about what I want to go see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's still got that eagerness about him, and he wants those answers, and You know what I mean? And I get that. I totally get that. But you guys go after some things that I won't even say their names. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, oh shit, here we go. Yeah, but so I guess somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, I guess it's just I think of most people think of paranormal investigating is like the traditional style. You go to places, haunted houses, haunted buildings, haunted jails, and that's where they work. You never see like people doing that kind of work, in places where people lived in the past, where probably people died in the past. And, there's some like that started opening my eyes early on. And that's kind of where I've expanded my base. But I'm always willing to go, anywhere, even if it's some place that's got a reputation for being haunted, like a sanitarium or a jail or a house. I've gone to some of them and had some pretty cool things happen. But the cameraman and I working together, it seems like we find a lot of interactions of all kinds outdoors and different claims.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then Trapper brings a good element too. Like he's I mean his name is Trapper for a reason. That's his nickname, right? Because that's what he does for a living. He traps nuisance animals, and he relocates nuisance animals, and he's good at tracking. A trapper is good at tracking. And that's very, very valuable. And the guy is as genuine as they come, heart of gold. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Same with Tin Man, just real nice guy, great people. Yeah.
Yeah, we all have good synergy together. We all work together good. The Trapper, his grandparents, great grandparents were Native American, and that's where he first learned the track was from his grandfather. He told me about it. He's a really good tracker. Like he knows prints. He knows how to track, and that's one of the things too that a lot of people don't know is that he's actually been contracted out to help track down big game and people who are lost and things like that. He's got a lot of expertise, so he does bring a lot.
Yeah, very humble man. Very, very humble man. I mean, you're all very humble. You really are. And that's another reason I like to bring you guys. I don't mind gassing you guys up.
Yeah, I'm trying to spread the word too. The more I've been doing this, it's like the more I want people to see what's going on, because it's something that I think a lot of people overlook and don't realize that's out there.
Yeah.
And I'm showing evidence, what I see and what I hear. I have some help of my my programs to help amplify and things like that. But what you're hearing is what I captured. That just some of the voices I capture come out of like what seems to be nowhere.
Yeah.
And they're saying things, talking to you. Sometimes they make sense. Sometimes they just like some kind of residual message comes out of somewhere.
Yeah. Well, some of those, ovulists, you could sit and you could sit in one place with them, and they won't say anything all day. It literally it won't do anything all day. It won't say one word, and then you go into another place and it's like bang, 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 and you something's there, utilizing it.
Yeah, you get used to it. Like I can honestly say that the Spirit Talker app I use, I don't believe is always 100% like genuinely interacted by some kind of a spirit or something. But the thing is that you kind of get familiar with what messages you're hearing, where you're at, what's going on. You can usually tell when it's an actual genuine message that's being conveyed from something. And like my proof to that is like when I capture EVPs, an actual message that I've heard, that I didn't hear at the time, that was on the audio recording. I've had those mimic and mirror what I heard on the Spirit Talker. And when I've captured that to me tells me that it works. It can be, when you have a spirit leaving you an EVP of a message, and right around the same time, you actually get the same message on the spirit talker, you know that that's more than a coincidence. So I do trust that spirit talker. A lot of people are kind of on the ropes about it, but like I said, because of those kind of experiences, I know they work.
Yeah, they do. They do. There are some that are there are some that are, garbage, but they've made their way out of the, you know what I mean? They've made their way out of the cipher, if you will. You know.
Yeah, it's kind of like you kind of get used to what you're used to using, what you're confident in, what you're comfortable with. That's kind of like where I'm at, and that's why I use what I'm using. And that spirit talker is one I have confidence in for, most of the time, and it keeps showing itself to be pretty authentic.
Yeah, I just put it on my second phone, and I haven't used it yet. I turned it on in my house, and it did nothing for like 5 minutes. So I was just like, all right. I don't think it wasn't working because the bar is going up and down. You know what I mean? It was like, it was scanning. I just don't think there was anything to, there was just nothing around.
Right.
So I'll try it again. I haven't tried it the second time, but that just goes to show, like, you can run it for a while and nothing will happen. So if something's using it, it's something. If something's happening, it's probably because something's using it.
Right. Yeah, you get used to it. I'm used to it, and I can tell. Usually when you get those replies that are rapid, usually there's something to those. It's not a coincidence when you're getting, like the last video, I got a message told me to sit. And I was like, okay, and I was like, you want me to sit? And
let me just interrupt you real quick.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see Damien. I don't see him. Like, let's stop making this, like, I've seen it 100 times now. Everyone keeps like, let's stop being dramatic. I can't see him. We've done this 100 times. Like, done this 100 times. I don't see you. I don't know why. Like, let's get over it. I don't know why. I don't see you there. They see you, talk to them. I can't see you. Let's stop taking away from the show. I have a guest here. God's sake. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's all right. But like the quick message thing, and this last time where we were at, it told me to sit, and I was like, okay. I'm like, you want me to sit? And then I was like, all right, I'm going to find a place to sit. And within seconds, it said choose. So then I started thinking, I'm like, you want me to choose a place to sit? And then I'm like, okay. And then I started walking, looking, and then it said, I'm like, maybe here, and it said keep going. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, this is definitely the kind of interaction, something's interacting with this device right now.
Right.
Then I kept moving, and I was kind of like, all right, I'm going to sit right here. And then, I'm not sure what the point of that was, because sometimes there's things that, you might not know that maybe it can't tell you, but there was something to that. I'm not sure what it was, but I just kind of went with it because it seemed right. And it seemed like genuine communication to me.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times when it says something to you guys, like, it's so, I never really, I don't want to say I didn't believe in them. Like, I just have never seen them work so fluidly as I have with you guys. Like, I've never seen it work so fluidly. Like, I just never have. And I just never have. And that's just me being honest. Like, on any investigation, anytime, anywhere. Like, it always seems like what that thing says is like, it lines up perfectly, and it amazes me every time.
Right. And I hear a lot of people are kind of iffy about it when they talk to me. And I'm always telling them, like, well, I don't know what kind of experiences other people have, but all of my experiences with it, which, are backed up again by when I get messages, EVPs that correspond with an actual message that I get on that to me is like, it's definitely, they're definitely being interacted with. And that to me is proof. So, there's my cat just jumped up here. So
that's so crazy. It looks so funny with the,
the
what do you call it back there?
Screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why, like, I always say, if you seemed like some people, you heard bad things about it, some people manipulated, I don't know, what they're talking about most of the time, but I try to let them know I'm just using it as it's designed. You know, I'm not messing around with the app somehow making things happen or say things. I don't know if there is getting a bad rep from some people, but it's been genuine with me and it's been working. That's why I keep using it.
I guess, you know, yeah, I don't know. I think there's just been like, it's just like anything. There's just skepticism, and then there's people who misuse shit. You know what I mean? That's just
Yeah.
really what it boils down to. So I treat it as the person using it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you literally told me like, oh, hey, here's the one that you guys are using. You know what I mean? Like, try it out, check it out. Like, you know, it's pretty cool.
What's really funny is I'm not sure what it is about the cameraman's. When the cameraman uses his Spirit Talker, the same app that the same app we both use it. When he uses his is like chatty Cathy, man. That thing will not stop talking.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny because every time he turns it on, I'm like, up, here it goes. She's gonna be talking away. I'm like, I don't know if there's like somebody that's there with him that's just like talkative that seems to keep coming or what it is, but he just like, and it's funny to listen to him because he'll just be walking around and he just keeps like having this conversation with it. It's hilarious if you see him, but it's kind of like one of those things that was kind of neat to see, like us both using the same app and how they interact and how his has been interacting where we're at. And I don't know if I ever told you about Charlotte. And like Charlotte is, I'll kind of break it down, but I felt like I had a presence that's been with me, kind of like maybe like a guardian angel or something. And I had a dream. It was not like any other dream. It was a dream that like literally affected me to where it brought me out of like probably a very low point, one of the lowest points I've ever been in my life. And the dream was like more than just a regular dream. And in the dream, there was a woman, and the dream actually felt like she was there and made this connection and right after the dream, when I woke up, I was totally different. And right then I started wondering, like, what was, there was more to that. I could tell.
Yeah.
And I started asking questions to Ramona and another friend of mine that's a medium, Tim. And I was asking him questions about if there might be somebody with me, a spirit or a guardian or an angel. And they both concurred that and said that there's a younger woman spirit with me that protects me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in my my room one time, this is one of the earlier days when I was just testing the Spirit Talker out.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in there and I just kept hearing names, women's names. And I'm like, And I was kind of like a little skeptical of it at first, the very first time. And I was being a little bit of like a, smart ass. And I kept hearing these women's names. And I'm like, oh, there seems to be a lot of women in here, I'm like, does anybody, anybody want to come over here? And I was on my bed. I'm like, anybody want to come over here and lay down with me on my bed? Just, that's kind of me. I'm just sarcastic. I'm a smart ass.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got a message that instantly it said yes. And I was like, oh, I'm like, whoa, okay. And I'm like, all right, well, go ahead, lay down. And then it said your guardian angel. And then all of a sudden I felt like a jerk. And I'm like, oh. And then it said Charlotte. And I was like, wow. It was all like the messages were very fast at that point. And I was like, okay. I'm like, Charlotte. I'm like, maybe that's the name of whoever's with me, because it just said your guardian angel. And it seemed like there was something to that message. And if you ever see my videos, almost in every video, her name will come up.
Really?
Yeah.
I never put that together. I never noticed, but I mean, that's,
yeah.
I'm like 50 first dates. I tell everybody, it's hard. It's like, it sucks, but like, that's the world I live in. Like, I wake up the next day and I'm like, shit, like what, I need to always jog my memory. Like, it's just something I have to work on with having a TBI. Like, so short term just sucks, I don't retain new information very well. hence like why I just document everything. Like I always look back at it like, all right, you know. But yeah, long story short, we all have a couple of spirit guides, right? Like we all do. Like whether people want to believe it or not, we all have a couple of spirit guides. And different shapes, sizes, like there's no really rhyme or reason to it, I don't think, you know what I mean? But I don't doubt it. I really don't doubt it. That's
Yeah,
it. It's really
I was told that like if you do have, or I should say, when a guardian, like a guardian angel or a guardian spirit, will become known to you when they feel you're worthy. That's what I was. That's the advice I was given by like Tim and Ramona. They said that they said usually you won't know, you won't be aware of who's with you or that they're with you, but they will make themselves known when they feel like you're worthy of knowing. And I thought that was probably that moment when I had that dream. And I think it sounds weird, but I guess I was worthy enough when I was at that point where I was so, it was so rough. It was such a low, bad point that was when I was worthy enough and, she became known to me. That's kind of what I got out of it.
like Camping with Sasquatch says the app I mentioned said some stuff about the people no one could know, including somebody's pet name. So it's pretty fucking bugged out. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when you see things like that. The apps you use, that, they can be interacted with when you see evidence like that.
guardian angels and guides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's funny because Charlotte comes up. I mean, almost everywhere I go, her name will come up on the device. It came up on the cameraman's device a couple times too when we were together. And pretty interesting. Like I've had some interactions where I think she's actually said something. Like I captured one where I got her name and I was like, oh, she's with me and I'm grateful. And I heard this weird, like angelic sounding like voice, very strange. And I heard that same voice again captured at another place.
On the EVP.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Very
Yeah.
unusual.
See, that's where I think, like, that's where I find EVPs. Ghost Dragons, thank you. Appreciate you so very much. That's where I think EVPs are interesting is when they have different, because the spirit talker comes through the same voice, right?
Yeah.
The same tone, right? That's some different. I like EVPs a little better sometimes, obviously, because you can get you'll hear different, tones. You could tell if it's a female or whatever. You know what I mean? Am I making sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes, she's came up every time I've done research with Mike. Ghost Ranger said the same thing every time she's been with you. Charlotte's come up.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Another reason why I believe that spirit talker is authentic. Things like that. So many things have happened that I have confidence in it.
Well, we've had times where Latin words have come up, right?
Yeah.
And we emailed the company and was like, "Hey, you guys, what do you guys have in this app? Like, does it come back different languages and shit?" And they're like, "Oh no, no. It only has so many words that it could come from. You know what I mean? Like that, so many different things they could choose from or whatever. And we thought that was wild, so I ended up getting rid of that app because it was just freaking me out.
Is able to do things beyond what it was made for. That's pretty strange.
Yeah. Tina, thank you so much. Jeez, thank you guys. A lot of love coming in. Thank you tonight. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. It's not necessary. Don't anyone feel like you need to. You know, I understand times are tough for everyone, but thank you all so very much. So very much. Let me catch up with everybody here. Woohoo, Tina Vermeil. Cryptid Huntress. You should link up with her too. She has a good show.
Okay.
She has a good show. Maybe well, I'll talk to you guys later about it. I was talking about something earlier and it ties in with her too, so yikes. Yeah, it was a yikes situation. Yeah, the deer do love me. And Stacy, I think I saw what you just wrote a minute ago, and I don't want to make it about me or and take away from Mike here, but real quick, I think that's awesome that you're getting close to them. Deer are very telepathic, so a lot of animals are horses. I practice with all these things. I practice telepathy with them, and I try to get close to them, and I try to get close to a 250-pound deer with antlers on its head. Get within, people are like, I would have rushed up to that Sasquatch. Get within 10, 20, 30 feet of a big buck and tell me you're going to keep walking towards it. And these are the things that I practice. You know what I mean? Because it takes guts, like it takes trust, it takes good energy, it takes, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that go into that to move close to even a deer. So hats off, man. Good shit.
Hi, Frog Man. What's up, Frog Man?
Frog Man snuck in
Hello, everyone.
Red Bull needs this. What's up, Mike?
I think from Claim 3, which is still that site is one that I feel is there's stuff going on there that there's been, we've seen the evidence of it, and it's very unusual and strange there. And the cameraman is trying to help the homeowner who's there, and he's been, I don't know, he wanted to do something on his own there for a while to help.
I know it's tough though. Like sometimes I don't know how you guys. Sometimes I look and I'm like, I don't know how you guys are gonna help. You know what I mean? Because I mean, we look at things like a lot of people look at things like this is mine, right? I bought this land. This is my shit. Something's here. Get rid of it, right? And like sometimes you can, sometimes you can if it's something, but other times it's like, those other worlds, they don't view things as like, they don't see fences and boundaries and you know what I mean, things like that. It's all one. It's all one big Mother Nature, if you will.
That's I agree. Like I wasn't quite sure. I mean, I guess the thing that like even the cameraman feels the same way. Like you're saying, we're trying to see if there's any way our communication directly to it, because the homeowner hasn't done anything as far as trying to communicate with whatever's there. If we can go and try to just communicate that the homeowner's trying to just have things be more peaceful because there's activity that's bothering him, like a lot of noises and a lot of things. He had things wrapping on his house and that. So we were just trying to see if whatever's there can understand and maybe not be as active with engaging with the homeowner and his home.
Yeah.
And that's the goal, I guess, is just to try to calm it down.
Yeah, it does. I remember when it was crazy. It was crazy at my house every night, and like the hitting on the house and the windows and like the sensor lights. So he's messing with the sensor lights. Opening and slamming gates, and like the locks would be busted off, like all sorts of crazy stuff. And somebody was like, I was doing everything under the sun, and somebody was like, "Did you ask them to stop?" And I'm like, "What are you talking? What?" They're like, "Did you ask them?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I never asked them." Like, what do you want me to do? Talk? I'm like, "What am I gonna do? Talk to them?" And like, you know what I mean? They were like, "Yeah," and that's like when it started for me. I went out there and I just kind of like pleaded my case. I wasn't necessarily talking to something physical. I was, just kind of went in the backyard and just kind of talked openly. And lo and behold, bro, I swear to God, that day, it stopped that day. And it was going on for months. And that night it was like, and the silence was weird at that point. You know what I mean? Like, it took me a couple of nights to, like, I was like waiting for something and like, oh, wow. Mike Jones has a question. Tried has anyone used or tried detecting Bigfoots using full spectrum detection equipment? I don't know what that is, so I don't want to give you a bad answer, but maybe you know.
Well, full spectrum, I think, incorporates the ultraviolet spectrum into just like your normal spectrum range from your camera. As far as I know, that's the difference between like your regular, like say you got an infrared, like you got a camera that can record with light, and then you've got like a mode where it can record at nighttime. A full spectrum, I think, adds the ability to add a ultraviolet spectrum range. Because ultraviolet, I saw this done with certain channels. It was done. It was quite some, maybe 10 years ago. Maybe I seen a paranormal team test that theory. Because some animals have the ultraviolet spectrum range as part of their vision, and they were trying to put that together as why some animals have the ability to see things that people can't. That might be paranormal, as far as like maybe spirits or things like that.
Mm.
So then they started experimenting with it by getting something that puts off an ultraviolet light and then taking some photos, and then that produced results with getting things captured that were there that you couldn't see otherwise. And then that's turned into like cameras have that now as like a spectrum that's part of the camera's, regular construction and not something you have to piece together. So, I mean, I guess it's possible. Me, I'm a believer in that red light spectrum after what we've seen. Now I believe in at least running that red light a decent amount of the time, because what was seen at Claim 3, I believe 100% that wouldn't have been visible if it was white light.
It wouldn't have.
No.
It wouldn't have. So all right. I'm going to tell you what I think happened, and I don't know. But what I picked up was you went to red light, and whatever that thing was confused. It caught it off guard, and I think it went towards it thinking it was something like familiar. You know what I mean? Like maybe something, whatever, like it's relative or some shit. I don't know. But it went towards it, and then it was like it kind of got it, and then saw you guys and was like, like, and
Yep.
got the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that thing was. Like it was like it almost looked like 3D mapping thing mixed with like a squid. Like
Yeah. It definitely had an element to being like transparent. Like it definitely looked like there was, I don't know how you want to put it, but it was in some mode that was protecting it from being seen. Like, I don't know if you might just say cloaking as a way, like cloaking, like the Predator kind of cloaking, just for being a generic way of trying to say what I'm saying. But it kind of had some kind of a transparency look to it, but it still was somewhat visible.
Ghostbag says, I'm a Buckeye too. Been to all those same places from what I'm seeing. Tracy said something about a new app that sounds demonic. She says you'll love it. But
that's probably, what's that one called? Jack has it too.
People 46 on. Yeah, people probably left, Jody. I don't know. It's all right.
I never downloaded that app. It's kind of like it's its own thing, it's kind of like a spirit box kind of app. But it has like it does sound really like, if you ever hear it, you'll probably be like creeped out by it. We've used it before.
Well, it can be, so that's the cool aspect of what you guys do is you have a team. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know, like, there's guys out here I can go with. One gentleman will only go early mornings. You know what I mean? That's his thing. He likes early mornings, and cool. That's great. I love going out that time too. And then Brian is local. Montauk is strange, but it's hard to it's hard to get together. So I always end up just kind of going by myself. But going out at night, if I was listening to the Spirit Talker and it started saying wild shit, you know what I mean? I might not be too apt to just kind of hang around. You know what I mean? But again,
you got me.
I had the tent like last night. I had the tent. And the fire was blazing. I had the fire going good at that point, and I can hear, something walking around the perimeter. And I'm hitting the flashlight going around. There's nothing there, right? And I kind of know what's going on, right? I mean, I don't want to like invade on anyone's beliefs or their journey, but they're just in that next dimension, just doing their thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I understand this, but at the same time, it just freaks me out, right? So I'm like, all right, like, because you just still expect to see something, and it's just trippy, you know what I mean? It's just trippy. So I couldn't imagine if, like, maybe, like, it said the thing said something that might freak me out more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and man, I'll give you an example. This is right before I started working with the cameraman. I did a video down in my research area over in West Branch, where the legend of that West Branch witch was, where I started at. And I was there with Declan was his name. He was just there with me. And that was the first time I really seen something physical, an actual being that wasn't a human. And I just seen it as it cleared a tree. Like it ran and it was like lightning. And I caught it, but I definitely seen like half of it as it cleared the tree. And I was blown away by what I just seen. And then during that week, I started talking to the cameraman about it, what I seen. And then he showed me those thermals. You've probably seen all those thermals he captured. And I was like, I wonder if that's what I seen was something in the thermals. So then I was kind of anxious to go back down there again to see if I can communicate with it, because now I know I seen something that was not a ghost or spirit. This was some kind of a being of some kind. So there I am by myself over there, like a few days after I just seen this thing. And I'm there trying to communicate with it. And when I'm there, all I'm getting are messages on the Spirit Talker that are negative. Bad entities here and stuff like that. And, so you talk about being like, you hear some messages on there when you're by yourself out. And, and the West Branch is one dark place, man. And I'm just sitting there and I'm hearing these messages. And I went to the old cemetery. It used to be a cemetery. That's part of it. I went there. And then I get a message that's like, it was about a demon. It said, there are demons. And when I heard that message, that's when I was like, ooh, okay, I'm getting a little bit more edgy now. And then I was trying to see if I could get some kind of indicator to let me know that it's not safe, because obviously something might be warning me. So I'm like, if I need to leave, let me know somehow. Can you touch the device, make one of them go off? And then I get a message that says kill. And then that's when I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to end my filming now. I'm like, I feel like my presence is definitely not wanted. But hearing those messages, and I'm by myself, and all I can hear is that those words being echoed out loud. And I'm just like getting that feeling, it's like getting me. And I'm like, it seems like something's different. Like I'm getting these negative kind of messages. And the Spirit Talker definitely was like, you get those kind of messages at times, it will kind of spook you. It'll give you a little chill. Yeah, Creep Tide. Yeah, that I have to admit, that was one of the most uncomfortable times I've had. And I'm usually comfortable over in that area in West Branch, but that night, I was getting a little uncomfortableness. I was getting that feeling, and those messages weren't helping. And I was like, oh boy, I'm like, okay, I think it's time to go. That message kill came pretty quick after I was like, all right, I'm like, if you need me to leave, touch the device, let me know. And then it's like kill. And I'm like, oh, I've never heard it say kill before. And I'm like, all right, I better get out of here.
Yeah, that's wild, bro. I'm trying to catch up here.
Oh yeah, so you got everybody's chatting away.
No, it's good. It's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Shannon, you grew up swimming at West Branch. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I had some weird. Yeah, Shannon Shook. Yeah, Shannon Shook. Yeah, we'll talk about her later. But yeah, she's got some interesting things going on. A lot
West
of,
Branch had a lot of weird things recorded there.
yeah. Well, if the mods can do me a favor and drop MT's link, and I would love for you guys to go and check him out a little more. I have to get my son early tomorrow, so I'm gonna wrap up. I mean, we could go all night. I'm sure. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, I'm sure.
I appreciate you so much, Mike. Thank you so much for being here.
No problem, man. I always appreciate it. You know, you help me out a lot, man, and I appreciate it.
Mention it. You know, we help each other, right? We
Right.
network. We got some things coming, guys. I'll tell you that much. And we're working on something outside the box, right? Would you say that's fair?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Outside the box.
outside the box. And I think, I don't know, I like it. I like it. And you know, I'm not the mastermind behind this one, which is even better. I love when people think outside the box. So yeah, I just saw Dark Hour Paranormals pop up. So if you guys wouldn't mind going over to there after this, I'll see you there. So thank you so much again, bro. Appreciate you being here.
No problem, man. Thank you. Thanks everybody too. Thank you all for being here.
Yeah, Goodins, thank you. Ghost Dragons, thank you. Tina, thank you. Camping with Sasquatch, Tina, Sharon and Shook, Stacy. Jesus, thank you. Wow. All right, that was a lot of super chats tonight, guys. Thank you so much.
Well,
I don't even know. Wow. Thank you so much. Shit, I'm not used to that. All right, thank you guys so very much. Blessings. Thank you all. You got anything closing? Where can they find you? Well, let's do that. How about that?
there you go. YouTube.com/@MT Paranormal Life on YouTube. There it is.
All right.
And I just dropped the new video. That one, I've got a lot of evidence on there, especially prints and things, man. If you want to go, it's the most recent video I dropped. Searching for evidence of paranormal and cryptid activity. That's the new video. Go check that one out. We got the shadow thing walking too, and some EVPs. Got a lot of stuff, a lot of prints.
Yeah, you got good shit coming. You got good stuff there, and you got good stuff coming, bro. I see good things only coming for you. So,
all right, thanks, man.
No, bro, thank you. All right, guys. As always, appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one.
All right, good night.
I don't have any fancy outro, so
Good night.